Well, I think events like this which are discussing animal testing are important because they can impact on people's lives in terms of maybe their own health or the health of some of their children.
Okay, so my stance on animal testing is I think it's an incredibly complex issue, and I think the talk today was very interesting, but it only touched on a few debates that are happening within animal testing. It had been great to go a little bit deeper into one or two aspects of that, so we touched on cosmetics testing and drugs testing, and maybe concentrating on one of those and looking into a few issues. I think the models that were discussed are interesting, but I'm not quite sure that they're up to speed compared with animal testing at the minute, and going through some of the problems associated with them and their benefits and where the development's going in the future might have added something to the debate.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's much harder to justify animal testing maybe for purely cosmetic reasons. I think a lot of the public probably have difficulty with that, but for me, until there's good evidence that maybe some of these, mimic systems are actually doing what we're hoping they're doing, then maybe there is little alternative, and probably for the foreseeable future it's unavoidable to continue animal testing. And I think the debate needs to focus on the pros and cons of each scenario, and everyone has to try and leave their personal opinions at the door and do it based on the science and the evidence, and I think that's really important. And probably to split sort of medical testing and cosmetic testing is probably the first key issue in that, because they are very different outcomes, and sort of try and really get to people's opinions on each level of different types of testing. Okay, so in terms of whether people should be involved in the debate with policymakers, I think it's really important that people get an opportunity to have their say, but probably it's critical that people have all the information necessary to make that opinion, so that their opinion's not biased by having seen people with horrible pictures campaigning in the street against animal testing of all kinds, or some sensationalist media article they've read in a tabloid somewhere, that they have a sort of balanced point of view before they come to their opinion, because that's the only way I think that opinion's really valid in this discussion. And so I think that absolutely policymakers should engage with scientists and representatives of all areas of the general public, but the information should be freely available to anyone that wants it, so that the discussion can be really informed.